Chapter 17. And the Philistines gather their camps to battle, and are gathered to Shoco, which is to Judah, and encamp between Shoco and Azekah in Ephes Dammim. And Saul and the men of Israel have been gathered, and encamp by the valley of Elah, and set the battle in array to meet the Philistines. And the Philistines are standing on the mountain on this side, and the Israelites are standing on the mountain on that side, and the valley is between them. And there goeth out a man of the duelists from the camps of the Philistines. Goliath is his name, from Gath. His height is 6 cubits and a span, and a helmet of brass is on his head, and with a scaled coat of mail he is clothed, and the weight of the coat of mail is 5,000 shekels of brass, and a frontlet of brass is on his feet, and a javelin of brass between his shoulders. And the wood of his spear is like a beam of weavers, and the flame of his spear is 600 shekels of iron, and the bearer of the buckler is going before him. And he standeth and calleth unto the ranks of Israel, and saith to them,
Why are ye come out to set in array the battle? Am not I the Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose for you a man, and let him come down unto me. If he be able to fight with me, and have smitten me, then we have been to you for servants. And if I am able for him, and have smitten him, then ye have been to us for servants, and have served us.
And the Philistine saith,
I have reproached the ranks of Israel this day. Give to me a man, and we fight together.
And Saul heareth, and all Israel, these words of the Philistine, and they are broken down and greatly afraid. And David is son of this Ephrathite of Bethlehem Judah, whose name is Jesse. And he hath 8 sons, and the man in the days of Saul hath become aged among men. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse go, they have gone after Saul to battle. And the name of his 3 sons who have gone into battle are Eliab the firstborn, and his second Abinadab, and the third Shammah. And David is the youngest, and the 3 eldest have gone after Saul. And David is going and returning from Saul to feed the flock of his father at Bethlehem. And the Philistine draweth nigh morning and evening, and stationeth himself 40 days. And Jesse saith to David his son, Take, I pray thee, to thy brethren, an ephah of this roasted corn, and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brethren. And these 10 cuttings of the cheese thou dost take in to the head of the 1,000, and thy brethren thou dost inspect for welfare, and their pledge dost receive. And Saul and they, and all the men of Israel, are in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. And David riseth early in the morning, and leaveth the flock to a keeper, and lifteth up, and goeth, as Jesse commanded him. And he cometh into the path, and to the force which is going out unto the rank, and they have shouted for battle. And Israel and the Philistines set in array rank to meet rank. And David letteth down the goods from off him on the hand of a keeper of the goods, and runneth into the rank, and cometh and asketh of his brethren of welfare. And he is speaking with them, and lo, a man of the duelists is coming up. Goliath the Philistine is his name, of Gath, out of the ranks of the Philistines. And he speaketh according to those words, and David heareth. And all the men of Israel, when they see the man flee from his presence, and are greatly afraid. And the men of Israel say, Have ye seen this man who is coming up? For to reproach Israel he is coming up, and it hath been the man who smiteth him. The king doth enrich him with great riches, and his daughter he doth give to him, and his father's house doth make free in Israel. And David speaketh unto the men who are standing by him, saying, What is done to the man who smiteth this Philistine, and hath turned aside reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he hath reproached the ranks of the living God? And the people speak to him according to this word, saying, Thus it is done to the man who smiteth him. And Eliab his eldest brother heareth when he speaketh unto the men. And the anger of Eliab burneth against David, And he saith, Why is this? Thou hast come down. And to whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I have known thy pride and the evil of thy heart, for to see the battle thou hast come down. And David saith, What have I done now? Is it not a word? And he turneth round from him unto another, and saith according to this word, and the people return him word as the first word. And the words which David hath spoken are heard, and they declare before Saul, and he receiveth him. And David saith unto Saul, Let no man's heart fall because of him. Thy servant doth go and hath fought with this Philistine. And Saul saith unto David,
Thou art not able to go unto this Philistine to fight with him, for a youth thou art, and he a man of war from his youth.
And David saith unto Saul, A shepherd hath thy servant been to his father among the sheep, and the lion hath come, and the bear, and hath taken away a sheep out of the drove, and I have gone out after him, and smitten him, and delivered out of his mouth, and he riseth against me, and I have taken hold on his beard, and smitten him, and put him to death. Both the lion and the bear hath thy servant smitten, and this uncircumcised Philistine hath been as one of them, for he hath reproached the ranks of the living God. And David saith, Jehovah, who delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he doth deliver me from the hand of this Philistine. And Saul saith unto David,
Go, and Jehovah is with thee.
And Saul clotheth David with his long robe, and hath put a helmet of brass on his head, and doth clothe him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword above his long robe, and beginneth to go, for he hath not tried it. And David saith unto Saul, I am not able to go with these, for I had not tried. And David turneth them aside from off him. And he taketh his staff in his hand, and chooseth for him 5 smooth stones from the brook, and putteth them in the shepherd's habiliments that he hath, even in the scrip. And his sling is in his hand, and he draweth nigh unto the Philistine. And the Philistine goeth on, going and drawing near unto David, and the man bearing the buckler is before him. And the Philistine looketh attentively, and seeth David, and despiseth him, for he was a youth, and ruddy, with a fair appearance. And the Philistine saith unto David,
Am I not a dog, that thou art coming unto me with staves?
And the Philistine revileth David by his gods. And the Philistine saith unto David,
Come unto me, and I give thy flesh to the fowl of the heavens, and to the beast of the field.
And David saith unto the Philistine, Thou art coming unto me with sword, and with spear, and with buckler, and I am coming unto thee in the name of Jehovah of hosts, God of the ranks of Israel, which thou hast reproached. This day doth Jehovah shut thee up into my hand, and I have smitten thee, and turned aside thy head from off thee, and given the carcass of the camp of the Philistines this day to the fowl of the heavens, and to the beast of the earth. And all the earth do know that God is for Israel. And all this assembly do know that not by sword and by spear doth Jehovah save, that the battle is Jehovah's, and he hath given you into our hand. And it hath come to pass, that the Philistine hath risen, and goeth, and draweth near to meet David. And David hasteth and runneth to the rank to meet the Philistine. And David putteth forth his hand unto the vessel, and taketh thence a stone, and slingeth, and smiteth the Philistine on his forehead. And the stone sinketh into his forehead, and he falleth on his face to the earth. And David is stronger than the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smiteth the Philistine, and putteth him to death. And there is no sword in the hand of David. And David runneth and standeth over the Philistine, and taketh his sword, and draweth it out of its sheath, and putteth him to death, and cutteth off with it his head. And the Philistines see that their hero is dead, and flee. And the men of Israel rise, also Judah, and shout, and pursue the Philistines till thou enter the valley, and unto the gates of Ekron, and the wounded of the Philistines fall in the way of Sha'araim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. And the sons of Israel turn back from burning after the Philistines, and spoil their camps. And David taketh the head of the Philistine, and bringeth it in to Jerusalem, and his weapons he hath put in his own tent. And when Saul seeth David going out to meet the Philistine, he hath said unto Abner, head of the host,
Whose son is this, the youth, Abner?
And Abner saith, Thy soul liveth, O king, I have not known. And the king saith,
Ask thou whose son this is, the young man.
And when David turneth back from smiting the Philistine, then Abner taketh him, and bringeth him in before Saul, and the head of the Philistine in his hand. And Saul saith unto him,
Whose son art thou, O youth?
And David saith, Son of thy servant Jesse, the Bethlehemite.